Hey, Facebook. Thank you for tuning in to Comic Spot. Comic Spot was created for the kind of person that's here today. Comic Spot is where this Army veteran, myself, gets to vet out veterans of comedy. And today, that's what we've got for you. Dan Naturman, a veteran of comedy. Let me read you his bio. He sent it to me, and I never steal people's words. One little second here. You get to see the top of my hair while I do this. Well, that's horrible. He's been on America's Got Talent. He's been on Conan. He's been on Late Night. He's been on America's Got Talent. You guys, I did memorize it. And he's on a regular HBO series that I know you know as well, called Crashing. So welcome to the little stage here today. Somebody I met who is a hell of a nice guy, Dan Naturman. Dan, welcome.
Thank you. Well, the show's not on the air anymore, Crashing, just to specify or to clarify.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't know you're an Army veteran.
I am. Yes, my mom didn't wear the Army boots in my family. I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that, but that's interesting.
Thank you. I had to serve. Everybody else in my class either went to Canada or down to San Francisco on a trip, and some of them never came back from that trip. Yeah.
All right.
I served. Yes, I served proudly. Did you serve?
I did not. No, I didn't.
Do you have family that did?
My family's Canadian, so I mean, I guess they could have served in Canada, but they didn't. No, no, we don't have veterans in my family. No.
Okay. Well, thanks for appreciating the fact that I did serve. I would love to pick your brain for a little bit on here, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So you grew up being funny. And at some point, somebody said, you know what? You're funny. Go to the principal or go on stage. What's the story between you growing up and jumping on stage at some point? How did that happen?
Well, I don't know if I grew up funny. I grew up funny to myself, and maybe a few of my friends and teachers didn't think it was very funny when I would say things in class that I thought were funny. But in any case, so you're not wrong. They didn't send me to the principal necessarily, but they sent me to the corner, where you used to have to stand. And I don't know if they still do that or not, where you stand in the corner of the room. I don't know if they still do that or what they do with kids now. I think they just give them medication now. Everything is a diagnosis. Back then, you were just a troublemaker. But yeah, so, and I did some plays in school, and then I started comedy after college, just something I had always wanted to do, but never thought was a legitimate profession. And I guess it isn't, but I'm doing it anyway. So that's the story in a nutshell. If you want more details, then you can ask specific questions.
What was the very first time you got on stage like, and how did you go from the first time on stage to Conan and America's Got Talent and a TV show called Crashing? What happened in the middle there, Dan Naturman?
First time was, not on stage because I did some school plays, but my first time as a stand-up was at Stand-Up New York Comedy Club on the Upper West Side, which I did what's known as a bringer show, where you have to bring 3 people or whatever it was. I think it was 3 people in order to get on stage, and only 2 showed up, but they let me on anyway. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I just did more of those sorts of shows and open mics, which they now they call mics. They used to call them open mics. The terms have changed. And then eventually got a manager, and then eventually, I guess he sent my tape to Conan. I don't remember precisely how that worked, but slowly but surely, very slowly. In fact, it's been.
So you're not an overnight success.
Pardon?
You're not an overnight success.
I'm not sure I'm a success at all, but certainly not an overnight one.
Yes, you are.
Well, depending on your definition, I guess. But
you're playing at Comedy Cellar in Greenwich Village. It's the best place to play.
Whatever I've achieved, it hasn't been overnight. No. So it's been 20 plus years now. I stopped counting, quite frankly, because the numbers get scary. The years go by so quickly. In 2020, it'll be 2021 before you know, because this year was a bust. But maybe we'll turn it around in the fall.
Yes. So the first time that you got to go up on late night, what was your excitement before that happened? How did it go? Did that start everybody asking to put you on things?
No, my first late night show was Conan O'Brien. It was, I think, the late 90s, and Ray Romano and Reese Witherspoon were the other guests. I'm not sure if you can find it on YouTube. I don't think, though. I think it's completely disappeared. But yeah, it was Reese Witherspoon and Ray Romano were the other guests. Mm-hmm. Ryan Phillippe was there. I remember just sort of in the backstage, because he was married to Reese Witherspoon at the time. And it went quite well, actually. The set went quite well, as I recall. The audience was very good, very warm. And no, it didn't start people asking for me, but I don't know. I'm sure it helped a little bit in terms of getting on stage around the city.
Yes. So how long in your career did it take for you to get on over at the Comedy Cellar? Because I
started there very early, but the Comedy Cellar used to be a different sort of a place. The place you know now is the Comedy Cellar, which is the place to be, I guess. Wasn't always that way. When I started in the 90s, it was just one of many clubs that were all about the same level in terms of prestige. And they used to have a late night show where if you were less experienced, you could go on late at night, about midnight and after. You wouldn't get paid. You would get something to eat. And it was called a food spot because you got paid in food. And I did that very early on in my comedy career. But again, it was before the Comedy Cellar was what it is today. And then I did that. And then eventually I kind of just, I was in and out of the Comedy Cellar. Then they stopped using me. Then they used me. They started using me. They stopped. They started. It was kind of intermittent for a while. But the Comedy Cellar, as we know it, in terms of the level of prestige that it has been about 10 years since that's been the case. Before that, it was just one of a number of clubs, all at about the same level.
Yes. So do people catch you on the street and ask you for autographs a lot?
No, once in a while, people recognize me. I don't know if autographs are... The autographs, I think, are outdated. They ask for selfies sometimes.
That's true.
I don't know if there's autographs, if people still do that, but every now and again they'll ask me for a selfie, but not enormous amount, but sometimes.
So who's helped you in your career, and who have you turned around and helped?
Well, Judd Apatow has been helpful because he put me in Crashing. He put me in there's a movie coming out, or that's already out, I'm sorry, with Pete Davidson called King of Staten Island. I was in it, but they cut the scene out.
I'm sorry.
So the scene is no longer in the movie, but I got paid, and I enjoyed a day in Staten Island. So he's helped me. He would be the main person, I guess. And Conan, insofar as he's put me on his show several times, and and I don't have much to offer in terms of help, but I have helped a couple of people get into the Comedy Cellar. Eagle Witt, in particular, who is now a regular there. I was the one that recommended him. So
wonderful.
But I don't have enough power to really move somebody along.
Yes. What do you have in mind for becoming a better person or a better comedian after the pandemic?
Oh, a better person. Well, that's a question you don't hear a lot in a comedy related interview. I don't know that I've thought about becoming a better person, to be honest with you, but that's always a good thing to do, is to become a better person. But I haven't really thought about it. A better comic. Well, to be honest, right now I'm working on a book. My main focus right now is not stand-up comedy. It's the book that I'm writing that I just finished the first draft, and I'm editing it and hope to get a workable version done in a couple of months that I could send to publishers and try to get it published.
Is it your autobiography, Dan?
It's not an autobiography. It is a novel that has autobiographical elements to it, insofar as the main character is a stand-up comic, which and has certain things in common with me and certain things different than me. But no, it's a novel. It's not an autobiography, but I do take from my life and incorporate elements of my life in it, which I think most people do when they write a novel, at least unless it's like a science fiction novel. Maybe then they make the whole thing up. But there's a lot of there's some anyway, some autobiographical elements, though. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So congratulations on doing that. And when do you think it'll come out? What will it be called?
Well, I don't know when it will come out because I have to find a publisher. I don't have a publisher. I don't have an agent. I have nothing. I just have a book. It is called I Respiro Before COVID is the name of the book. So when it comes out, I don't know. Hopefully it'll come out, or maybe I'll just self-publish it. But that I can't say when.
Wonderful. I'll look forward to hearing that on your page so I can get out and buy a copy. And you know what?
Let everybody know as soon as it's available.
I'll want an autographed copy, not a selfie of the book. I'll really want the book.
If it's the Comedy Cellar, then I'll happily sign it.
I'll be there in December.
Well, I don't know if the book will be out by then, but when you have a copy of it, I'll certainly be happy to sign it.
Yes. Is there any inspiration you want to give to people? You seem like a down-to-earth kind of guy to help people make it through the rest of this COVID, because you're out there in New York where it's been hit hard. You're in a hot spot.
Where are you at? You're not in New York?
I'm in Vegas now.
Is that where you're from?
No, Portland, Oregon.
Oh, you're from Portland. Well, I've been there once, I think. I don't, like words of, I don't know. I mean, it's for some people have a lot more difficult than me, I live by myself, which I prefer because this way I'm not in somebody's hair and they're not in my hair. I don't know. I think, it'll end. I mean, that's all I can say is that it won't last forever. There's been a lot worse things that have happened in this country, World War II and Vietnam and things like that. And those ended, so this will end at some point and life will go back to more or less normal. I just don't know when that'll be. It might be 2021, who knows?
Yes.
Might be 2022. I hope not.
I know it. I hope not too. So the best thing that you've seen so far come out of COVID, and then I'll let you go.
Okay. The best thing, geez, I don't know if there's a best thing, for me, I got work done on my book. So that was a good thing, but that's very personal. That's obviously has nothing to do with anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, I hope people are a little bit more, I've seen some good things and I've seen some bad things. I've seen, people that are helping each other, and, when every night, well, they don't do it anymore, but they used to, every night at 7, people would applaud the health workers, so that's a good thing. But there've been some nasty conspiracy theories about COVID. And so there's always, just like with 9/11, you saw the best in people and you saw some of the worst. So I think,
yes.
It's the same with any event like this. You see people doing great things and you see people doing bad things.
Exactly. Well, it's been so nice of you to stop by and let me drill you with questions. Were you playing with a fidget spinner? Was that what I was hearing?
No, I have these coins. I have these Euro coins. When I was in Paris last time, I changed my money for euros, and then whatever change was left with, I didn't bother changing back into dollars. So I have these euros that I'm kind of I'm playing with them. Mm-hmm. I just kind of, it's like I guess it's like a stress thing, but.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dan Naturman. I enjoyed meeting you at the Olive Tree one night over there. You were so nice, and you were quizzing me on whether or not I really knew German, which I thought was a real hoot. Because turns out I don't know as much as I thought I did about German. And you're a great guy. You're nice and personable to people you don't even know at Comedy Cellar. And I salute you for all your years of comedy. And we are essential.
Thank you so much. I'll see you next time at the Comedy Cellar. Bye-bye.
Everybody